Thank you for joining Legacy Partners. We're excited to bring you another amazing series. Get ready, let's go. So, now we're going to talk about once you have your idea, once you have a test product or even a product that's ready to start pushing, how do you get that product to the market? Now, this is a totally different monster within itself. You know, a lot of business owners are able to start businesses and have successful businesses with little to no marketing knowledge. The problem comes in once they're ready to scale. How do they do that? And that's when a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs start scrambling to find a marketing person that really knows what they're talking about. You may have heard in the past that marketing is like a black hole where you just throw money in it and you don't know where that money is going. You don't know where to track it. The beautiful thing is now in today's society with digital, you're able to track everything down to the second. You're able to track every single dollar that's spent in real time to know where it's at, where it's going, what website it's going to, what page it's going to, what item it's going to. With the power of Google and Facebook right now, they just know everything about you. So that can be a good thing or a bad thing, but if you're not doing anything, you have nothing to worry about. So with the goal of this is to teach you just the basics of marketing and how you can use these actionable steps right now to be able to test products, start making some money, and growing your business. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to understand your demographics. When you think about companies like Nike, when they started the shoe, they didn't start trying to promote to everyone. They started with a running shoe. So their target demographic was runners. And then they grew that over time into basketball. And then they got this guy by the name of Michael Jordan. You may have heard of him. And then from there, Nike pretty much took off. But the moral of the story is Nike didn't start out targeting everyone. And in fact, when you start to niche down on your product to touch only a certain audience, all the other audiences went in. So when Nike signed Jordan and the Jordan shoe came out, people who didn't even play basketball wanted the basketball shoe. And so the reason that is because you had this prominent figure that was beloved outside of just basketball, and then it brought all this whole audience in. But they didn't target those people. Same concept when it comes to Amazon. Amazon started out selling books. Now they sell everything, but that's not how they started out. And so I behoove you to really look closer into who it is your demographic is. And a couple different ways that you can do that is by understanding the lifestyle of your demographic. And that is, what are their behaviors? What are they interested in? What's their entertainment? What type of sports do they like? What type of TV shows do they like? If you're selling pet products and you're selling dog pet products, well, you have now a niche. People who like dogs, they probably shop at Chewy.com. They probably go to PetSmart. Now I'm starting to get into the life of who my actual perfect customer would be. Are they married? Do they have kids? These are all important things because it helps you speak the language that they speak. It helps you touch on the pain points that they may go through. Targeting a single woman is different than targeting a mother. And a mother can also be a single woman, but the language is still very different. And so I encourage you, as you start to put together what that perfect customer looks like, they call it a customer avatar. I encourage you to start looking into what that customer interests are and what their age is. Again, you're going to speak to a 35-year-old differently than you're going to speak to a 25-year-old. They're going to care about different things. And so understanding what your customers care about is going to be very important. Once you understand your demographics, the lifestyle of who your customer is, now you want to get in front of them with an offer. Now I call it the necessary ingredients to manage your market. And so you start with the offer because you're selling to a cold audience. When you're a new entrepreneur, a new business to the market, people don't know who you are. And it's a lot harder to sell to people who don't know you. That's like going into a restaurant and walking up to a stranger and saying, hey, let's get married. Chances are you'll get slapped or arrested. And the same concept is in business. A lot of times business owners throw a lot of money at strangers to get them to buy products that they've never heard of before in their life. And so they end up losing money as opposed to offering something simple, offering something free, offering something that gets people engaged. You look at like when you go to the fair, sometimes they'll give out ice cream samples. Or, you might be in a strip mall and there's a new pizzeria and they give out little samples of the pizza. Well, they want you to try it for free. It's risk free. They're not pushing you to buy. They're basically saying, hey, try this. And if you like it, well, come on in. And so that's what you want to do with your offer. And you can do that through a contest, a promo. And what it does is it gives your brand, it gives your product the opportunity to be exposed to a new audience. And to be consumed by a new audience in a very non-threatening way. You also want to track it as well, too. And again, you do that through the analytics of Google, through Facebook. You can always just jump on YouTube, find a couple different lessons. Like we spoke about earlier, you want to be self-taught. You always want to be learning. And so, again, in order to do that, you may have to take a couple hours, watch a couple tutorials, even invest. I highly encourage you to invest in some of the other professionals that have done this and been very successful at it, to get some jewels and tips for what they've done. But there are ways to track it. And so you want to find out those ways, have those in place before you get started, so you know where your money's going. Especially if you're working a regular job, you have a side hustle going on, you don't have a lot of money to be wasting and spending. And so being able to track every dollar is going to be very important to you, because you theoretically could spend just a couple $100, $200 to see if something works, see if it gets a sale, as opposed to spending thousands of dollars. But one of the other keys too is the follow-up. Once you have an offer and then you put that offer in front of people and people like it, well, it's your job to then get back in front of them again. A lot of times what works well is you provide them with another offer. So you give them the free offer to try something. Once they try it, if they like it, well, here, your first purchase is 10% off, or, you get free shipping on your first order, or whatever the case may be. You want to have a follow-up with another really good offer. And again, you're building a business right now, so you don't want to focus so much on the return as opposed to focusing on building your customer database and people that will go out and start talking about your business, as well as come back to you and buy from you again. So that's really important when it comes to understanding your demographic and having that demographic discussion. How old is your customer? What is it that they're interested in? Are they married? What's their income level? All these things are very important when it comes to putting together packages, when it comes together putting together pricing. And so I just encourage you to really, before you just jump out and start trying to sell the product, know who your customer is. Create a one-page avatar that says, hey, my customer's name is Todd. He's 34 years old. He works in IT. He's married with 2 kids, and he has an apartment and a dog. That's my ideal customer. So I encourage you to try to, as much as possible, to build that avatar before you get started. The next thing I want you to do is ask yourself, once you figure out who this customer is, where are they online? What platforms are they on the most? And this is one of the things that I find a lot of entrepreneurs get very frustrated with, is that they feel like they have to be on every single platform that's out there, when the reality of it is you don't. So when you look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, on and on and on, it can be very overwhelming, and then you don't get on anything. Or you get on one of them and then you're a robot and you say the same message on all the other platforms, when they have different people on different platforms. What do I mean by that? Well, Facebook right now is an older demographic. Normally you see people 35 and up that are on the platform, engaging on that platform. So if your customer falls between 35 and up, Facebook might be a good platform for you to pick. Another one, Instagram. Instagram is normally 40 and under. Now, some people may look, well, 40, like that's kind of a little older, but these social media platforms, they age up. When you think about Facebook, when it first started, it was just for college students. In fact, you had to have a college email to get on the platform. And now look at it. So all these platforms age up. TikTok is going to be another one. Snapchat is another one. If they continue to stick around, they will age up. And during this pandemic, you've actually seen a lot of older people get on TikTok. And so, again, I just encourage you to know where your customers are. I would focus on 1 or 2 platforms to begin with, because most people have more than one customer. It's just about being able to focus that message in on that particular customer. So if you want to focus on an older demographic on Facebook, again, because that's a different message to a younger demographic, which you could focus on Instagram, but you have to change the message up. Once you continue starting to say the same thing, then people start looking at you like you aren't authentic, and then they stop following you, stop engaging with you, the algorithms stop working for you, and then everything is bad from there. So again, you don't have to be on every platform. Just pick the right platforms that you know that your customers are on, and that's going to work for you. Something else that people talk about a lot is, what time of day will customers be receptive online? That's a test. You have to test that. So you have to A/B. They call it A/B testing. Try posting sometime in the morning. Try posting sometime at night. What may be the best time to post may not actually be the best time to post because everyone is posting at that time. So if you want to get less traffic, maybe you are counterintuitive and post at the time that most people aren't posting, and maybe your post gets seen more. And so that's something else you should definitely think about. One of the challenges to manage all this in a time-effective way has gotten a lot better over the years. When you start talking about automation tools like Hootsuite, Sprout Social, these are automation tools that allow you to schedule posts to go out. So within an hour, you could schedule a whole week worth of content to be posted out across all of your different social media platforms. So look into Hootsuite, look into Sprout Social. There's other ones out there as well. But you definitely want to make sure that you use some sort of automation service. The other thing too is when you look at a radio, McDonald's that I have here as an example, what they do, what McDonald's does is they segment their promotions. So they're not going to run a Big Mac promotion during breakfast. They're going to run a breakfast promotion during breakfast. And so you have to also have that same mind frame. Right now we're in the middle of a pandemic, so you shouldn't be trying to sell products that aren't going to help people during this pandemic. It shows a carelessness on your end, a lack of empathy and sympathy for your customers. And so it's just bad all across the board for your business. So to be able to help you manage what you post, where you post, how you post, you want to be able to segment that. So segment it based upon time of day. Again, if you're a restaurant and you do lunch, well, you don't want to post your lunch specials during dinner. That doesn't make sense. So again, just keep in mind how you're posting, keep in mind where you're posting and the type of content that you're posting. And this, I promise you, is the start to how you can really build the basis of your marketing for your business.